is week 15 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat, Patrick Gilroy, alongside Katrina Pateri. And we're off schedule again. We've started the last few episodes this way. And hopefully, honey, this is the last time that we are off schedule for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about this for like the last month. So between vacation that we went on with Connor, the school vacation week for the kids, Civil Air Patrol, board meetings for the Wyndham football team, and our work travel, there was no way that we could stay on schedule, on task, on point. And I believe, barring, actually, I'm lying, that next week will be off schedule as well.
Well, next
Because
week
I'll
you're
be
still
gone.
here Monday night
It's true that I leave Tuesday, so maybe we can pull it off next week and be on time.
for Civil Air Patrol, pending whatever the Celtic schedule is.
That's true. And
But if we don't record it on Monday, then we'd have to record it on Sunday again, because then you're gone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then that would just definitely be too late.
it's a lot. Like, there's a lot going on right now. And the fact that we continue to show up and do this says a lot about our commitment to this program and our commitment to putting out good content. But it's week 15, Let's Chat with Kat and Pat, and I'm pissed off at you. So I'm just going to start off like I'm angry, I'm upset. It's not really at you, but I'm directing it towards you. I think what you need to do this week is bullshit. Like, you're going on a trip. You're looking at me like with that.
I was like, what the hell did I do that you're so pissed off at me?
You did nothing.
Mhm.
Like, you're going on a trip for work. I'm going on a trip next week for
I'm
work.
sorry, I earn a paycheck,
You do.
which is much more than anybody else you've
That's
ever
true.
been married to.
That's true.
Okay.
And as the program rolls along and we talk about what we did this weekend, I've done a lot more for you than anybody else has done for you, because what you have from this weekend is real. And it didn't come from a discount department store.
And I was there in person.
Yes, that's true. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the program. I'm not pissed off at you. I'm pissed off that you have no free time. Like, I have no free time, and our time is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
We do everything that we can to protect our time. I often tell people the one thing that I've got less of than money is time. And sometimes I have a hard time with whether it's my employer or your employer. I have a hard time with their casual way in which they are fine with wasting our time.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to go on a work trip. Fine. Like, that happens. I'm proud to be marrying a woman that's beautiful and successful and has to go travel for work. No problem at all with that. I hate the fact that, like, you got to be gone Monday to Friday, and Monday is a quote-unquote travel day, and Friday is a travel day, and then you can't come home Thursday for a gala where your family and friends and me, like, we're not invited to go celebrate your accomplishments. So in theory, you should be gone Tuesday, Wednesday, and fly home after program on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be reasonable to me. Like, that should be what the schedule is. But you have so many people, and this is why our podcast is important. The people that are putting this on, they're probably unhappy in their marriages. So they're like, how do we extend this thing a little bit longer to stay away from home just a little bit longer? And I know what that's like. I used to do the same thing when I was married to my ex.
So
like,
did
I would extend a one-night trip and make it 3 nights, a 4-night trip and make it 5 nights.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did.
But when you get to a point where you're happy in life, you don't want to be gone that long.
It
You don't like
sucks.
traveling that long if you're traveling with your significant other.
Right.
But traveling that long when you're not traveling with a significant other sucks. But then I'm also not going to be home for 2 of the Celtics games.
So that you're going to miss 2 Celtics games with me, and that sucks because, you know, Connor might watch a little bit with me, but he doesn't, like, instead of him getting angry when they lose, he looks at me and says, Dad, does it really matter? And he tries to reason with me.
Correct. And like doesn't understand like the whole like mantra of being a sports
like ultimately
fan.
The irony is he's right. Like from a therapist's perspective, he's right.
He's on point.
Like if they
We don't
lose,
want to hear that crap.
if they lose and they blow an opportunity to go to the finals, win a championship because they wind up losing to the Cavaliers of all fucking teams, if that happens, he's going to look at me with a straight face and be like, Dad, I'm still here. Katrina's still here.
It's
You have
just
your
a
job. It's just a game. Does it
Oh.
really? Why does it upset you so much? And when he says that, he's so right. But I just want to wring his neck out. Like Homer used to do to Bart before people said he can't show that on TV anymore. Like
Right.
that's
We're Boston sports fans. We want them to annihilate anybody else they go against.
1,000%. So it
You're
sucks.
born and bred here. That's what we do. That's it. But this generation that we're raising, it's
So
okay.
you're going to miss the first 2 games of the series at a minimum. But then
and I have events those nights, which I don't even have an agenda for. So I don't even know, like, am I going to be able to break away? Thankfully, you guys have the NBA app, you, Eric, and Jason, that I can tap in on the app on my phone. So whatever event, and, like, at this point, like, when it gets to be like 7:30, I've already been working for 12 hours.
That's right.
I'm salary. I get it. I'm on the clock all the time. But I'm going to be that chick that's at an event looking at the sports highlights.
there's nothing wrong with that.
And
Like,
I'm probably going to have like 3 or 4 people standing behind me.
You're not going to watch the highlights. You're going to watch it live because
Well, like
we
at
share
the table or
like,
whatever.
yeah.
And I'll have like a couple people probably sitting with me that are be like, Kat, like, you're awesome. I can't believe you're doing that.
You are awesome, and it, that's fine. But it sucks not having you here because when things go wrong and things go poorly for the Celtics, like I need you. I need to be
Well, the other
comforted.
part is-
Like your left boob is always a place that I sort of run to and retreat to when they go 0 for 12 from the field and they had an 18-point lead and now they're down by 6. Where do I go? Where do I burrow into at that point?
Well, the other thing is like one of the games, if I do get to like cut out early to watch like the second half of the game, I'm going to have to watch it in a dress.
But basically,
Like, that just seems wrong to me.
well, there's nothing. You look great in a dress, and you're gonna
Right,
smell
but
great.
like you're watching a basketball game,
In a
and I have to be
dress.
dressed up.
It's
Like,
a-
I almost feel like I need to like wear the dress and get a Heineken so I can be like supporting Boston colors.
Yeah, have a honey. There you go. But like, it's. I think we're gonna maybe get to watch one, if we're lucky, 2 games of this series together. Because when you get back on Friday,
Oh, then you leave.
we have a weekend together. Then I leave on Tuesday, and I'm gone until midnight on Thursday.
My birthday.
So I know I'm missing your birthday. So you're gone for a fucking week, and you're not the bad guy. I'm gone for 2 days, but one of those days is your birthday, and I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, and
It's a
Connor has a dentist appointment.
Okay. And I've offered to move the appointment. You said
Now
you'd
it's
take
too
him.
late.
I offered months ago
Yes,
and
I
weeks
sent
ago.
reminder emails, and it did not get changed.
You did not want me to. You've said from day one, don't move the appointment.
Well,
You'll
you
take
had to
him.
move it like ahead of time, or you can take him on that day. But then
I can't take him on that day.
Well, no, you can't. You're conveniently on a business trip.
This business trip's been scheduled for a year. Like, it's not new information. It's
Well,
matter
the
of
second you came home from the dentist appointment, I was like, "Oh, you booked his next one on my birthday."
Matter of
Like,
fact,
you knew
can
the
I
day
can I just say this? If you want to know what I'm doing a year from now, 2 years from now, or 8 years from now, the NCAS, whatever, National Candy and Confections Association, legit last year signed a 10-year contract with Indy and with Vegas. So we're not going back to Chicago for a
I've
while.
not gotten the schedule yet. I've
So,
totally put that on
Google
my
it.
calendar.
Google it. It's there. It's online. So I'm either in Indy or in Vegas every year this time for the next 9 years.
Oh my
Like,
god!
this
The
is-
next time we go to Vegas, I'm a little Vegas deprived after going like so many
Okay,
years.
so
I
we
haven't
can
been
go-
in a few years.
The next time I go to Vegas will be after we're married. So I'll be more comfortable going with you after we are married as opposed to going without you or you going without me before we get married. The extra layer of security and going with you is important to me. Vegas does not, I don't have fond memories of Vegas. Vegas is ruined for me forever.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, get it. I know what you're referencing, but
I mean,
after how many trade shows and conferences and stuff I've been to Vegas,
Okay.
I haven't been in like 5 years.
Okay.
I've been 23 times.
Every time you miss,
And I'm a little deprived of like a good concert or comedy show.
every
And, like,
time,
whatever I can buy on discount at the Coca-Cola plant.
every time you miss Vegas, I want you to think back to going to Vegas with your first husband and his parents and think
I
back.
blacked that out.
No, think back to the story that you shared with me. What happened? You guys were in a shady area and
Well, we had to go to the Stratosphere to watch a vampire show, which is so not me. And then somebody was trying to take my purse, so I was speed walking with a flip-flop, broke my flip-flop, sprained the top of my foot. Ex-husband number 1, not a fucking clue.
not a clue. He didn't come to save the day, didn't rescue you, didn't stand up for you, nothing. Just, walking his way down the strip.
Mhm.
doing his own thing. Meanwhile, you're getting attacked, and he's just la-di-fucking-da doing his thing.
Okay, so when I'm thinking of Vegas, I'm thinking of when I've gone for like technology shows,
Whatever.
when I've gone for like Vegas, Victoria's Secret shows, Victoria's Secret conferences, like fun stuff, like when I went for Michelle's 30th, when I went for Sam's 30th, and like I get to brunch at the Bellagio, I get to hit on blackjack, buy something for myself at Tiffany's, and then go to the Coca-Cola plant.
By the way, you
see
talk-
like what
you
Cirque
talk-
du Soleil is on sale
You
or something.
talk
if
a
I'm
lot.
there.
You do. You bring up playing blackjack a lot and being good at it. You and I have gone.
I can't win in Connecticut.
You and I have
Boston.
gone
I
to-
can win in Vegas, no problem.
You haven't even played. Like, you talk this great game, and then we go to a casino, and like, are you going to go play blackjack?
I actually,
You never do.
I have a picture on my phone
I
that
don't-
I can show you of like a big win.
I don't need evidence. I just, like, every time you bring it up, you say, well, we're going to go to this.
Mohegan Sun, Foxwoods, Encore Everett, they are not the same as like the opportunity to hit in Vegas.
Okay, whatever you say. I mean, Vegas holds a sour place in my heart. I don't want to go there. I hate it. I got married there.
What was that one at the Bahamas though that we kept playing? Play the sky wheel.
Oh yeah, the
What's
slot machine. It was yeah. It's
that? And that was where everybody was winning.
spin the sky wheel.
Yeah,
Like,
no, on a rainy day
ready?
in the Bahamas.
3, 2, 1. I want to be the guy that does this. I want this job to be the guy, the voice of these slot machines. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it happen here. Spin the sky wheel. Like, it's so good. And it's spin the sky wheel. And then he changes the tone. So if you're playing 40 cents versus playing $4, the 40-cent version is more like, spin the sky wheel. But a $4 bet, and you hit the sky wheel, it's like, spin the sky wheel, and everybody comes running over. Like, that's what I want to do. That's the job that I want. I want to be the spin the sky wheel guy. So if anybody's listening to this podcast and you happen to have an in with a voice company where you need
You're
a
the
new
voice of a
voice,
slot machine.
spin the sky wheel.
Patrick Gilroy is your man.
That's what I want to do. I want to spin the sky wheel. Vegas is a bad place for me. I don't like going there. I got married there. I don't remember getting married there. The only thing that I remember is my ex-wife told a story to the judge when we were getting divorced about how after we got married, I called her a cunt that night. And she knew at that point that our marriage was doomed.
Well, here's what we can both say. You got married at the Luxor. I went and stayed there with my first husband at the Luxor. We're just not going to the Luxor. That's not our place.
Well, no, and it clearly says that our exes were not very classy people because we both went to the Luxor. Went to the fucking pyramid in Vegas. Like, what are we doing? If you're going to go to Vegas, you don't go to the Luxor.
No.
But I don't remember it. It happened, and it is what it is. I don't want to go back to Vegas, but I'll be back there at least 5 times because we alternate between Vegas and Indy every year for the next 10 years.
And I will say Vegas has like the best shows as far as music, comedy,
Well, and I'm like,
entertainment, and whatever hasn't been sold out that day. Like you get really great deals at the Coca-Cola plant.
that's true. But unlike your company, my company allows you to come and it embraces you and welcomes you to join us on trips. So when we were in Chicago for the Big Candy Show, you joined in, you came, and nobody gave you a hard time. They welcomed you. You were able to hang out with us and take part in whatever we were doing at night. And that was awesome. And I thought, this is so great because 6 months ago, you came to me and said, hey, I'm going to Orlando. I know you're going to go to your show the next week. We're going to go this extended period of time, not seeing each other.
Also, no, you need to get a meeting with Disney.
After Connor leaves, why don't you try to book yourself a Disney meeting and join me in Orlando for a few days? So I got excited and I sent the emails to the Disney people. I told my bosses, this is what I'm going to do. I looked up the airline tickets and everything worked. And then why don't you tell the people what you told me?
Well, it's like you can bring your family, but you have to show up at these mandatory events and your family can't come to the events.
And that's such bullshit because you work for an educational company that's supposed to be family friendly and family focused. So my instinct...
the family can go, but that you guys can go and have a good time while I'm at meetings and conferences.
But my instinct is I go a different way with this. It's you don't want me to come. So that's what you told me. Because what you're saying doesn't make sense.
Well, that's what they said. It's like mandatory for us to go to these events. So like I'm happy to have you there. But
why
I
is
have to be at a conference by day and then be at like a meeting or gala by night. And so like when I get a chance to see, I don't have an agenda. So like, does my night end at 7:30? Does it end at 9 p.m.? Like, I don't know.
So you have to be at a what at night?
A gala.
A gala. So you're going to show up dateless to a gala, looking good, smelling good, like dressing.
But everybody else is showing up dateless to a gala.
I need to, no, not everyone. I promise you not everyone. But I want to end this topic but I need to know, and I want you to tell the people. Because I read the email today.
The people.
Yeah, the people that listen to the show, your fans, your audience. You got to tell the people, honey.
Okay.
Tell the people what your email said about the gala. What is the attire? Because this is fucking delicious. What is the attire?
It's like, think Oscars after party.
Okay. Think Oscar. So you are in Orlando, not in LA.
At 90-something degrees.
Yeah, and they want you to dress like you're showing up at the Oscars after party, which to me is a cocaine-fueled fucking sex rampage orgy. Like, that's what an Oscars after party is. Just Google it. I did. That's what comes up. So
I don't know what that is. My thing is I'm not wearing a big fancy dress.
No, but the educational company.
I'm not spending time doing my hair and makeup. I'm going to show up looking how I look every day and put a dress on. Like, that's it.
You're going to look beautiful.
And I'm going to wonder, when is a good time that I can like head out to go to the sports bar and watch the Celtics game? That's where my mind is.
I legit thought you were going to say, I was wondering when I could head out, so I go upstairs and call you and say goodnight, because I know that we've got a routine.
Be totally, we'll probably FaceTime for like.
I probably won't hear from you between 7 and midnight the night of the gala, and it's going to kill me.
The whole resort closes at like 10 p.m.
Not the gala. The gala won't be a closing. If it is truly a post-Oscars event, it is not going to be closing at 10 p.m.
All those employees, all those workers, like they go home at some point. I'm sure we did not pay extra money for people to be up till 2 a.m. for our, and like, no.
There'll be a hero employee or two that wants to have a little get together in the room and has plenty of booze and plenty of music. And
yeah, and that's the event that you tune into and you get fired. I'm all set.
You're all set with that?
I'm all set. I'm too old and I'm not looking to get fired. I just want to go. I want to participate. I want to have my accolades for the wonderful employee that I am.
You are. You're a great employee.
But I want to be able to Irish exit in true fashion so that I can catch a part of the game. That is my focus.
That's your goal. That's your focus. And then you come home and then I leave and it sucks.
Yeah.
So we won't be back on our normal timeline routine schedule until I get back a week from Thursday, sometime around midnight. So
May 17th is the day.
Hopefully.
That you're looking for.
But I'm like, I miss your birthday. I've got to somehow make Mother's Day good for you and your birthday. And I'm not like, there's a lot of pressure on me. And there's a lot of moving parts because there are people that matter to us. We don't have a lot of people that matter, but there are people that matter in our lives, and they're not all easy to work through and work with. So
this is where you have an appreciation that I manage to schedule and you don't.
Well, no, like I can't get a commitment from anything from your son. Like I know you want to see him for your birthday and for Mother's Day.
He's going to work all day on Mother's Day. He's going to earn extra money.
But it's not a fucking holiday. There's no extra money. It's not time and a half. It's a goddamn Sunday.
Yeah,
it's irrelevant.
But how many people do you think work at Dunkin' Donuts and probably have kids? Probably a lot.
Okay, he's got a mother and a grandmother and a great-grandmother.
Right, but maybe his grandmother will love him anyways, and then his dad says it's a priority to work because his dad takes part of his money. So, like, him working on Mother's Day is expected.
No.
Like, actually, what disappoints me a little bit is that Connor has to go spend the day with his mom.
Well, he does. I mean, that was in the divorce decree.
I mean, that's what's expected, but I just feel like...
So hold on. It's expected for Connor to spend time with his mom, but it's not expected for Roger to spend time with his mom. And you
he's 20.
No.
So it's not
I have known him. I have known him since he was 15. He has never once spent the day with you on Mother's Day.
Oh, yes, he has.
Since I've known you? No, he hasn't.
Oh, no, because he's been of age.
15.
He's been of age
I have
to work.
known him since 15.
He's been of age to work. Like, yeah. So when he was a busboy, that's like the busiest day at the restaurant. He had to work.
I get it. But he was also going home to your house that night.
From from birth to 15, he's always spent the day with me. When the day has been canceled, it's because too many people had to have the day off where I worked in retail.
But I
And
still,
those were the days that I had to go work. But like once I got to be like general manager or area manager, I got to pull the trump card and be like, I'm not fucking working on
I
this day.
still try to include him and make it
It's
special for you.
difficult.
But it's difficult. So,
Now you understand how managing the schedule. There's one time a year you have to manage the
and it
schedule.
sucks. And I'm not good
It's
at it.
horrible.
I'm not good at it.
It's
So
not
like,
fun.
but here's the thing, like I'm not good at it. And I'm not one of these guys that's going to come up and be like, I'm good at everything that I do. So, fuck off. No, my manhood is what my manhood is. And I can tell you right now, I am not good at managing the schedule, not good at managing people.
So-
I'm also the same guy, hold on, that when 5 years ago, my job wanted it to take my role from director of sales to, sales manager and take me
Oh
off
my
the
God,
road.
you'd be terrible with that job.
But they demanded it, and I legit had to fight for a month. And I said, I don't want to be a sales
you
manager.
can't manage people.
I
You
don't want to
can't.
manage people. I don't want to. I just want to
You're
manage
good with
me.
the people.
That's it. I want to manage me. I am the world's best salesperson. I can sell anything to anybody. I build relationships. That's what I do. I don't want to have to look over somebody else's Excel spreadsheet of why they're failing.
Okay, so this is why when I said it's okay if we don't have a whole schedule, but we may have to go see your mom because she's like in and out. And if she can come here, if she can't come here, we're going to have to, we owe your mom a visit. So if we owe your mom a visit, then we have two options. When we drive down there, we can go to Linfield or we can go to Assembly Row. And when you said Linfield, if we go to Linfield, and you suggested where we could possibly go, which was already what I was thinking.
Davios, yeah.
Okay, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
And we don't need a reservation or anything because we're going to be the only couple that's going to go in
Sitting at the
and
bar.
not have a posse with us. So we can go and sit at the bar, go to Davios, and I can use all my coupons to go shopping in Linfield.
I would rather sit at the bar, though, than sit at like some little romantic table and have a candle lit. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to sit at the bar. I want to have a conversation with you. We'll probably talk about next week's podcast or the schedule with the kids, what's
We'll eat
coming up.
something amazing. We'll have a great glass
I would
of wine.
rather do that all day long than do anything else. But I just hate the fact that you're going to be...
How great is it that I am cool doing that?
My God, you're awesome. But like, how many episodes do we have to have explaining how awesome you are?
I may drag you through Whole Foods because we just don't have anyone nearby.
I really don't want to go to Whole Foods.
I really can't wait for Whole Foods to come in Tuscan.
Maybe I'll sit in the car. I really have a hard time with you in Whole Foods and in Trader Joe's. Like, you get fascinated. Like, your eyes open. They bug out. And you're like, look at this, look at this.
It's a 45-minute commitment for me to get to a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's nowadays. That is what excites me over 40 is what grocery store hopping can I do?
You save more money than anybody else at everything in your life. Like, you coupon, you shop sales, like you live to leave a grocery store with, you spent $400, you saved $600. Like, you live for that receipt. That receipt goes out the window when you go to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's.
Whole Foods, I have the fun little game because I'm a Prime member where I can only buy what's on sale.
Oh, you can buy whatever you want. That's what you choose to do.
Well, I buy whatever's on sale and I challenge myself because then I have to like create a recipe or something while I'm in the store. And then when I go to check out, when I scan my Prime, I save an extra 10%. So I still have a fun little game.
You do, and you have fun with yourself. So,
but you get to try cheese samples.
So
like, where else do you get to have good cheese samples?
Costco, BJ's. Like,
well, we don't have Costco yet, but however, I just totally planted the seed for Costco the other day.
You found,
like, we found that phenomenal Planet Fitness, and we can do Planet Fitness and Costco, and like I said a couple episodes ago, this is our club hopping, but Costco has like the like healthier option.
But you're getting. Let me just say this.
You know what, honey? You can get a Coke and a hot dog for $1.50.
Yeah.
There we go. That's where I win you.
We've been together almost 5 years. We're still not comfortable talking about pooping. So, like, I'm not going to get a hot dog and be like, honey, I got to disappear for an hour because I had a hot dog at Costco. I don't want to do that. But
no, you need me to buy you the fancy hot dog.
This is how, yes, I want the natural casing. It doesn't, they're delicious and they don't make you have the shits. So let me just say this.
Hot dogs being made of lips and assholes is my favorite movie.
It doesn't matter what they're made out of. You'd have to have the natural casing. Like, it has to be pig intestines that it's stuffed in. When it's not cased, or when they use the fake casing, that's when your stomach is like, this is not what we're looking for. Not for me. But this is why you're getting so good at this. A couple of weeks ago, you bookended the show perfectly. That's a radio term, radio skill, And it comes naturally to people that have been doing radio for a long time, but it's learned behavior.
So my sales course that I took in Vegas,
Yeah.
where I can like match anybody where they're at and relate as you're bookending.
Yes.
I'm able to match that style.
And you mirror it. Yes.
And mirror it. And then bookend Las Vegas again, because that's where I went to.
So why do this is why I worry about our relationship, because maybe you've just been mirroring me for 4.5 years.
No.
Eventually the mirroring ends and the real Katrina shows up.
There's no mirroring when we're able to have a conversation with no words exchange, just facial expressions. And you know what I'm saying and I know what you're saying.
Yep.
And we're laughing hysterically at it. Like that you can't learn at a sales conference.
No, and you can't fake it. But what I would like to say is that tonight's the last night that we'll be together without a kid for a long time. So if you want to fuck in front of a mirror, that would be great. I'm
excited to watch the Tom Brady roast.
I'm excited to have sex. Like, I need something to hold on to while you're gone.
I'm going to make stuffed chicken.
So you're not having sex with me? I want to know. Just set the expectation now. Are we not having sex tonight?
We'll see.
Are you serious right now?
No, I just don't like publicly talking about it on a podcast.
Why not? Like,
I don't know.
We talk about everything else.
I know, but the way that you phrase it is so crass.
I'm going to make love to you. Is that what you want to hear?
No, because that sounds like
it's a soap opera, like
Keith Sweat song.
Yeah, like and what happened to Keith Sweat? And where is R. Kelly these days? So I could either just say what I'm thinking and move on.
I will say I'm very excited to cook tonight, being inspired by all the Food Network shows that I've been watching lately, because like my newest hobby is like elevating my cooking skills.
And you're doing a great job. I am very excited.
And then I'm equally excited for the
Tom Brady roast.
Yeah.
I am more excited than you could ever imagine, because whether you understand this or recognize this or not, you've traveled for your job ever since I met you.
Yep.
Whatever job it is, you've always traveled, and you've never traveled this long.
Yeah.
You've always made a point on the night before you leave to really fuck me good.
Oh, Jesus.
No, you do. It's almost like you want to leave me with like a lasting memory.
But you still want to like embarrass the hell out of me in a podcast.
So I'm
so much.
I am hoping that like, because you're going to be gone for twice the amount of time, you want to go twice as hard. Like, that's what I'm hoping. Now, whether you do or you don't, I'll find out in 5 or 6 hours. Then I'll talk about it next week.
But this time I'm going with like a huge ring on my hand, so that should make me feel a little bit.
So there it is with the great, you are wearing it. There we go. But here's the great transition. So, and you tried to do it before and I stopped you, and that was my mistake. But I said you bookend the show as well. And then you made a great transition talking about going down 28 and going to Costco and what we did. So.
You just totally bypassed it, ignored me on that, Mr.
I didn't know. No, I gave.
How many years on radio?
I tried to take advantage and hold on to it and say, this is why you're great at this, because you do the bookend thing, and now you're the queen of the transition. But then you went off on this having sex with me tangent, and
that was me. Okay,
I understand how good I look and how good I smell. I just had a lobster roll.
So let's reel it back in.
Let's reel it back in. Like, I just want to get back to the transition that you did so well.
Yeah. Okay.
So yesterday we went and we picked our wedding rings up.
Yeah.
So we went shopping for them at Barmakey, and shout out to them.
In March during the wedding sale, because of course I won't pay full price for anything.
And I got to say this, we did not know what we were walking into.
My God.
So we hear like Tony Maserati on Felger and Maz every commercial break for 30 days is talking about Barmakey and Jewelers and their wedding event. And save this, save that. So we had talked about where we're going to buy our wedding rings for a while, and we tried a couple small jewelry stores. We went last year when we were in Jersey. We looked at the place where I got your engagement ring, and every place that we went was just like disappointing.
Well, and not only that, it's almost like if we're going to get married, we want to buy wedding rings. And it was such a wah-wah. Like, here's something you can see online. Here's a printout of a piece of paper. Imagine what that might feel on on your finger.
It's no good.
It's just like, no, like I want it to be an experience. I want it to be something good. I've been married twice before. This is no joke. And my first wedding ring, I bought at Kohl's a couple days before, which is why I still have a Kohl's credit card to this day for the extra discount. I think I spent $89.
So wait a minute. Just, I knew you bought it at Kohl's. I didn't know that you couldn't pay like you couldn't
No,
pay for it.
I could have paid for it outright.
Why were you buying it for yourself?
I bought it with my mother-in-law at the time.
Where was your husband or your husband to be, your fiance? Where was he at the time?
Probably with his girlfriend that he didn't find out about till later.
He probably spent more money on his girlfriend that day buying her drinks than you spent on your wedding ring.
Yeah.
Because you said your wedding ring was $89?
It was $89 after I signed up with the Kohl's card.
To save
at
10%?
a different sale. Yeah.
So you saved $8.90.
Well, I feel like I saved like $20, but it was already on sale.
It was going to be a $109 ring.
I think it was like $199, and I ended up spending $89.
Wow.
Yeah. Mind you, in those days, I was also the breadwinner.
Pure class.
Yeah. Well, my engagement ring was a fun story that I also learned about that day. That
Hold on. You learned about this story from
my future mother-in-law at that point.
So you didn't know this? Again, I know the story you're referring to. My assumption was Big Roger told you and sold it to, because what I would have done if
no.
What I would have done,
she totally spilled the beans at this moment at the Kohl's jewelry counter.
What I would have done,
5 months pregnant.
I'm setting this up because I want to hear, I'm gonna ask you in a minute how you felt inside when you learned this. But what I would have assumed from this story, and now I know, and I won't assume anymore, what I would have assumed is knowing you and knowing how frugal you are. You like nice things, you like shiny things, you like the best of the best, but you love them even more if you save money on getting them.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
So I thought he sort of pitched this idea to you. Hey, once upon a time, I potentially is going to marry somebody else. So I had this setting and we're going to save a ton of money, but I'm going to make it unique for you.
No, I had no idea. And my future mother-in-law at the time,
You still call her your mother-in-law.
I still call her my mother-in-law.
Which is so, by the way, it's such a kick in the balls to me.
But they are so wonderful.
I don't care.
They're nice to you.
How long were you married to him for?
Like 18 months.
And how long has it been?
Like 18 years.
So think about that for a minute.
Right.
So how many sets of mother-in-laws do you have?
Well, really, that's it.
No, what about Mark's parents?
Oh, I don't consider that.
Why not?
No, because they were terrible.
Well, then maybe Mark had some justification for some angst that he had feeling. If you were still, seriously, when you married Mark, if you were still calling the other ones parents, mom and dad, that's bullshit.
I never called them mom and dad.
Like, that's bullshit.
I never called them mom and dad.
Or refer to them as my mother-in-law.
Well, I mean, with how much they helped me with Roger.
It's bullshit.
Work and
You got to get over it and stop doing that.
Okay.
Let it go.
Okay. Well, I mean, I really haven't talked to them or seen them in like the last couple of years.
But every time you refer to them, you still instinctually refer to them as your mother-in-law.
Okay. But how nice is it that we get a Christmas gift and they still...
I don't want their Christmas gift. I don't. It's a fucking candle or a re-gifted blanket. Like, I don't want it.
Well, the blanket was from Roger.
But... I mean, it was from Roger, but it wasn't from Roger. So here's what happened that day. The blanket was from them. Then Roger was coming here, and he said, shit, I don't have a gift for Patrick. And they literally crossed it out because they're thoughtful people.
They are.
But the blanket, if you think the Cuddle Duds blanket came from Roger, like he went to the store and said, Patrick needs a Cuddle Dud.
No, I'm your Cuddle Dud.
Right, exactly.
Let's reel it back in. So here I am, 5 months pregnant at the Kohl's counter.
Your only mother-in-law is named Maria Gilroy.
Yes. And she's actually given me real jewelry, too.
She has.
She's given me a wonderful sapphire ring.
And I call your dad like a second father to me.
Yeah. So we're standing at the Kohl's counter circa 2003. Like 4 weeks after I turned 21. And 4 weeks after I turned 21, I can't actually go and legally drink because I'm pregnant. And here I am picking out my wedding ring with my future mother-in-law.
You were so in love.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever tell your mother-in-law that you didn't love her son?
Well, this is after we were already rejected from one of the Catholic classes we have to go to when you go to get married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember
every
what the name
time.
is,
Yeah,
because at this point, like, I've been divorced and not gone to church, and so like I'm a terrible.
You hadn't been divorced yet?
Well, no, now I am. So like I've been a terrible church person because I've already sinned 100 different times.
Yeah.
Somebody like there's several people saving a seat for me on the bus to hell.
You're not going to hell. You're not a bad person. You married bad people.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that there's a 21st century like curve that can kind of get you there.
You're going to get credit for the reasons why you did what you did. I'm just curious when you're, and I don't want to get into any of that, but when you're with your mother-in-law and you're picking out your wedding ring.
Yeah.
Is she going over this jewelry with you, believing in her head, like, my son and this wonderful young lady, they're in love, and this is so she's thrilled.
Over the moon. She's thrilled.
And you don't have the heart to tell her, I don't love your son.
Like,
he knocked me up, and I'm here.
This thing seems like a pressure and a scam, but like, this is what we're doing.
Were you trying to did you try to convince yourself that you loved him at one point?
Well, it was like, I'm pregnant. Like,
that's not what I asked you. Did you tell her, like, other people, like, I love him?
No.
Did you tell his mom, I love him? He's my dream man.
I would just redirect.
Okay. Because I know you're a bad liar. That's why I'm asking.
So I would redirect. I'd be like, oh, I'm craving ice cream. Let's go get ice cream at Daisy's.
But you were stuck.
Well, yeah. And I was raised that, like, this is what you do. This is it. This is it. Like, you got pregnant on accident. You got to get married. This is what your life is. You got to make the most of it. You make a decent income. You can support this. You can do X, Y, and Z, but this is what your life is. Yeah. So here I am standing at the Kohl's counter, picking out my gold wedding ring.
What you always dreamt of, your wedding ring coming from Kohl's.
Right. And hearing on, like, the 50% off sale, and then if you sign up with the Kohl's card.
And how much Kohl's cash did you get that day?
Can save it. The Kohl's cash didn't exist then.
Oh,
you can save an extra 20%. So, like, this is the day that I signed up for my Kohl's card.
Why is she with you, by the way?
Well, because Roger was off doing something else.
But what was, like, did you want her to with you? Like, did she help pay for it? Like, what?
No, she didn't help pay for it. But, like, at this point, like,
just a couple of girls shopping?
I'm pregnant with her grandchild. So if I'm not at work, she's with me.
That's so fucked up.
She went to all my doctor's appointments. She went grocery shopping. We went to Walmart. Like,
didn't you, like, I know you want space sometimes. Didn't you ever just say, like, leave me alone, bitch?
No.
Why not?
Because my mom was an alcoholic, and it was actually kind of nice that somebody was interested, but I literally lived the life of Everybody Loves Raymond.
It's too much. It didn't work out in the show, and it didn't work out for you.
It ended up, like, stressing me the fuck out. But, like, I'm like 6 weeks in. So, of, like, this whole full circle of what this feels like.
So how did the first husband propose?
I was sitting on the waterbed watching CSI.
You hate waterbeds.
I do. Watching CSI, eating food, and he proposed, which...
On one knee?
Well, like, he was, like, leaning on the waterbed.
And did you know it was coming? You must have known.
I guess it was kind of sort of expected when you're pregnant.
Like, no, you're so fucking weird. It wasn't expected at all. Like, you got trapped into, like, you are a made-for-TV movie.
Well, short of that, because, like, some of those details my son doesn't know.
No, you're a made-for-TV movie, though. Like, you were, the fact that you expected it is crazy.
But what I didn't know, well, because that was the type of girl that I am. Like, I wasn't a slutty person. I wasn't the person who's going to go out and, like, make a bad mistake. That was not me. I was committed to working. I was going to be something awesome. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that fucking sucks. And I had 1 week moment in my entire life, and that was it.
He was that tempting, I know.
Oh, I don't even remember it.
He was so sexy.
Like,
and you couldn't say no.
That was the moment.
You were so turned on.
No, stop. But what I learned at the Kohl's counter was that he had been engaged or bought an engagement ring to somebody else, and then used that ring.
He knocked that bitch up too. She just happened to have an abortion.
Oh, good God.
I'm not wrong.
I don't know. I really don't know on that.
You never did, like, a deep dive into this?
I didn't.
Well, maybe you should, because I did, and that's what happened.
Okay. So we're standing at the Kohl's counter, and mind you, my engagement ring is like a Leo diamond from Kay's, but it was a trade-in from something else, which was like the elite.
The Leo diamond.
Of the Leo diamond. But here I am buying my Kohl's wedding band.
Okay, so the Leo, what was your original engagement ring
worth? It was just a 3/4 solid.
What was it worth? No, what was it worth?
Oh, I ended up getting $1,500 for it.
So you sold it for $1,500
when we got divorced.
So why do you have to upsell it on the podcast?
Well, I'm just saying, like
it was a Leo diamond.
Well, that was supposed to be a ruse over me, not knowing it was a trade-in from another engagement.
But who cares if it was a Leo diamond? It's a fucking marketing scam.
Like,
that's why it doesn't exist anymore. The Leo diamond,
ridiculous.
Like, no, like, legitimately, they got sued because they upsold this Leo diamond thing, and people believed that it was something elevated from a diamond, and they almost went out of business.
When I was 21, I was young and stupid. What do I know?
But it wasn't even meant for you. He chose it for somebody else.
Well, I guess the previous ring he chose for somebody else. He traded that ring into K Jewelers to get the Leo diamond one and spent like half the cost.
Did you know this other person existed?
I knew this other person existed.
Did you know that
they had a ring?
Well, maybe they just didn't love each other.
Maybe they were smart. Maybe she was smart and she said no.
Maybe she was smart and had an abortion.
Who knows?
Like, these things happen.
But that was my first wedding ring. The second
This is my favorite. If you, like, we're going to wrap this in about 10, 15 minutes because we can't get to her third and fourth. Those will come 10 years from now.
Fourth? Are you kidding me?
What happens after you dump me? Like,
oh, really?
Based on track record, like I'm fucked.
Well, I mean, you've already gotten me good jewelry.
I can't knock you off. I can't baby trap you. Like,
and my rings are real.
So
and not traded.
We fell in love.
Oh my God.
Just real quick, we fell in love and we fell hard early, and then COVID hits. So legitimately, like, I lose my my tenant, she loses her roommate, and like a year in, wicked premature, we gotta make a choice. Money's not coming in. We got kids. We got mortgages. So we decided to combine, and she moves in. Everybody's heard that story. But I only bring that up because, like, within 6 months of you moving in, you're like, you should get a vasectomy. So
there's no more accidental pregnancies.
No, but like, you made sure you could never get baby trapped again.
Oh my goodness.
So what do I don't even have the same leverage that your first husband had. Like, he at least had the leverage of knocking you up. What leverage? What do I have to keep you?
What do you need to have leverage for if it's actually right?
I'm saying based on our mutual track records.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We're batting a 0.
Well, I'm hoping you're not a con job. You're hoping I'm not a con
well,
job.
you've got, like,
I have a track record. So my second ex-husband was a con job.
My
dad likes to call him the gigolo.
You have access to my everything. Like, like you fixed my credit, but like you got my
But you've seen mine.
If I have, but you're not the worry or the problem. Like, you weren't the worry or the problem in your first marriage. You were not the worry or the problem in your second marriage. You are not the issue. It is the men that you choose.
The men are the issue. I'm a bad chooser.
So I don't know what that says about me.
Well, I was kind of like bitchy and been like, this is the list you need to hit. And you jumped the bar to get there.
I did a great job, but I'm not perfect. And like, I have my moments, and I had a moment on Friday night. Like,
you got mad at me over cheese.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You are a pretty and proper girl, and you like to make out before sex. You like to be like wooed and romanced and warmed up. But if you have food or wine, you don't like to be kissed. So I thought we were coming home to have sex, and I thought when I said, hey, do you want anything from upstairs? You're going to be like, yeah, bring down our teacups, or I fill my Stanley with water. And you were going to go downstairs and brush your teeth, and then I was going to come downstairs, dump our teacups here, go brush my teeth. Then I was going to make out with you and work your neck and then work your thighs and then have sex with you. Like, that's what I thought was happening. And you're like, cut me cheese.
Well, we had been talking about it.
I don't care. We're on like a limited fixed timeline here before you leave and I leave. And instead of you being like, yeah, fill the Stanley with water, bring down our teacups, you're like, can you cut cheese? And there is no world that we live in, or at least there's no world in which I know you in, where you're comfortable fucking with a plate of cheese aging next to you on your side table.
They're listening to this and being like, you guys had a knockdown argument over cheese.
It's crazy.
Like, they would love just their argument to just be about cheese.
That's it. So that's why we're great. But again, you can't admit this part. You haven't done it yet. I've apologized. You've apologized. We moved on. I want to hear you say that you would be turned on and comfortable having sex, smelling a plate of cheese on the end table next to you during sex.
I would have been fine staging.
No, you wouldn't be. I said on the side table next to you.
I would have been totally fine. Well, it couldn't be on the side table. It'd have to be on the bureau, because then Corey would get to it.
Because she'd be watching us having sex?
Well, Corey would be in there and being like, they have food in there. I can get in there.
Right. There's no way that you want cheese sitting out for half an hour or 20 minutes.
I thought we were planning and staging for the night. Like, I have dinner planned for what I
had one plan on my mind. I'm a fucking dude. I had one plan on my mind.
I have dinner planned for tonight. Yep. I've already pounded the chicken.
You're a hero.
For tonight.
Maybe.
And I already have the ground meat thawing for chili.
You know how
So
you give me credit?
We had a whole like 20-minute conversation about pub cheese. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I really can't
But we
eat
didn't have pub cheese at
anymore.
home. So like,
Right. But how like this whole thing was is like at some point when we're watching TV before we go to bed, we're having cheese.
we were. So normally what happens is we have sex. You go either shower or rinse off because you don't want to go to bed dirty. And I ask you to every time. I'm like, just leave that spunk in you. Like, go to sleep.
This is lovely. Lovely detail.
But you need to, no, you're so clean that you want to clean it out, which is fine.
And then
What do I do?
a snack.
What do I
It's
do?
Usually like Cabot, cheddar cheese,
Yeah,
or pub cheese.
that's what
with,
I
like
do.
a side of fruit.
So like after 4.5 years, we can't just stay on schedule. You have to introduce something new.
We specifically went on a date night to
don't care.
an Italian restaurant,
Sex.
and we talked about cheese.
But we went on a date
How
night.
is that not something I'm supposed to think about when we come in?
I was thinking about having sex.
And I was thinking about the after-sex snack.
You have to earn that snack. We have to burn those calories. Like, what are you doing? Like, we just can't do this again. So tonight,
You got
tonight's my last sex window. You don't have a period, and where you're leaving, like you're an open target.
an open target.
You're open.
Now I'm a retail store.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that?
You're an open target.
Thank you.
You know what I mean. But I can't. I have to be very careful with my words when I'm trying to be nice and say, "Honey," as I'm
You
trying.
completely derailed our whole show.
What do you want me to get for you? What can I do? Like, I'm not offering cheese. There'll be no offering of a snack. You have to pee, don't you?
I have
You're
to
shaking.
pee, and
Right.
we're supposed to be in a certain frame.
we are.
What we were supposed
just
to talk about.
hold on.
You've completely gone off topic on.
You told the first story, so So the first story you think is good, but at least the ring was from Kohl's. You knew you were buying.
I knew what I was buying.
It was a $200 piece of shit ring that you got for half price.
Yeah,
and you also
at
knew,
this point I knew my engagement ring was real, but a trade-in for the Leo.
Just let's leave the first one like this. Somewhere in the back of your head, you knew that this wasn't going to last. Like you knew that this was not. You weren't in this for the long haul.
No, but like the only person who was telling me that I was allowed not to do it was my alcoholic mother.
My
which
God.
wasn't the great.
You're missing the
option.
point. You're missing the
But
point.
yeah,
You knew. You in your heart. Did you believe that this was forever?
No.
You might have,
Just-
you lied to the people around you. You lied to yourself. That's what you do. Like, I knew from the moment I married my ex that this is not forever. I had to wait for permission from a priest and wait for my grandparents to die and my father to die. But I knew that at some point I had to get the fuck away. Like this, otherwise I would die. Like, I firmly believe I would die. I think you'd be dead too. Like, that what you knew was not forever. Now, the second guy came in, and I will say this. There's a world that exists where your second husband and I could have been really good friends. He is a cool dude, and people like him. He tried to be in the media. He tried to be on TV, tried to be in movies. He's charming. He's handsome, and he had, like, the it factor. So I get that. I've never not understood your attraction to him. I never understood your attraction to one. Never not understood your attraction to two. He fucking fucked you.
Number two, like everything was a lie. Like everything.
It was he slow played the world's best scam, and he's probably doing it to somebody else right now. Like, this is, you're going to find this guy like on CNN someday, or what was it, True Homicide, whatever
True
stories.
Hollywood, whatever. Like, Forensic Files.
Forensic Files, that's the one I was looking for. Like, there's going to be a story, and he's going to be the center of it. But after you fell in love, and your friends approved, and you have a destination wedding, tell the people I want the detail, because the detail is what matters here. The detail tells the story.
So
about the ring.
My favorite part was like, I got this great ring that's like 2.85 carat with diamonds. It's platinum because the first marriage I realized I'm allergic to gold. And so like my first set of rings literally eat my finger off. Like I had to go to the doctor.
That was a sign.
Cream. Like it was this whole thing. Like my body was just like, this is not for you. So then I developed and I learned I have a gold allergy.
So why didn't you, in the first marriage, say to your first husband, hey, this isn't working for me. I'm allergic. Let's go together. Let's make a thing of it. Let's trade them in. Get me something that fits, that doesn't eat my fingers. And Maybe
Because
for
at that point, I
our
learned about the girlfriend.
maybe for our 2-year anniversary,
No,
we'll upgrade the rings.
the girlfriend was already like
Before year 2?
before year 1,
You're so,
before the baby.
you're so fucked.
Yeah. So like, no, there's no option. So then the second time, it's like it's got to be silver or platinum. That's all I can wear that doesn't give me a adverse reaction. So I have this beautiful ring, 2.85. Other people are jealous. Blah blah blah.
It was so big, you almost didn't want to take it.
I didn't. I wanted to return it. I was like, we had arguments about wanting to return it because it's like so not me.
But now, after the fact, you now better understand why he was so convincing and adamant about not wanting to return it, because it would have blown up his spot. I'm just curious, during those fights, when he said he didn't want to return it,
I refused to wear it.
did he say things to you along the lines of, I don't want to return it. It reminds me of you. I bought it just for you.
Oh, it's the whole
I
sales
love
pitch.
you, and
Yeah.
this is you. This is for you. And if you return it, it's like you're returning my love for you. Like, did he give you all that?
It was the whole.
And you never, like the fucking lights never started ding, ding, ding,
Well,
dinging in your head?
I
Or were you so lost in love with this man?
guess I didn't have enough experience with scumbag.
You were so in love with
that
him.
radar go
So
off.
in love with his
Like
burnt legs.
I had never had anyone treated me that fucking poorly that I
Oh, yeah,
didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you did.
Like
You did. You did. You just didn't know it.
like
Like,
I just
you did.
like
Back to
it's
back.
just ridiculous. But lo and behold, I ended up having to pay for it on my American Express.
So you bought the ring?
We still,
I'm so...
yes, he bought it on my freaking American
Okay,
Express.
okay. So you saw how much he spent on the ring.
Which is why I didn't want to
So
accept the ring.
what
Wanted to return
What
it.
I want to know is this, because the people want to hear the next part.
I'm like about to pee my pants,
So
and this is
the
going to
people
wait
want
longer.
the people want to hear the next part. What did he buy with what should have cost the price of the center stone?
He bought himself a Rolex.
Was
So post divorce, so I have to win to fight in divorce.
where's the Rolex on the Amex bill?
It's not present,
Because he had a shady friend at a jewelry store.
right? Which is ultimately what happened is like he
This is
rang
so
up
good.
like $82,000 on my credit cards on different things, unbeknownst to me, which was another source of why we needed to get divorced. And so here we are, getting divorced in divorce court, and I'm like fighting to keep this ring, and he's fighting to have the ring, and I think he's fighting to keep this ring because I have an appraisal worth like $33,000, thinking I can sell this, and even if I get 25 grand, it pays for the $82,000 he's racked up.
Right, to help
On
recoup
my
some of the
credit
money.
card bills,
Yeah,
right?
some of the money. It's just to be clear, 25 grand does not pay for 85 grand.
No, but I mean,
But it
it's a
helps-
nice chunk. It's a quarter of
It helps
right? It's a
recoup
quarter
some.
of the
Yeah, it
debt,
helps
right?
recoup some of the debt.
So, like, this fucker is not going to win in getting back this ring that I still have a freaking credit card payment for, right?
Well, so why did you accept a ring?
I didn't want to. I wanted to return
Yeah,
it.
but why did you accept? Why did you say no? Did he force you to say yes?
Yes, it was a long 2 weeks of like forcing it in.
But you didn't. You were never forced to say yes.
Well, I didn't say yes the first couple times.
But he bought it on your credit.
Yes,
It's so fucking weird.
I know. So then I went in divorce. And so when I go to sign it, so I could sell it, not sign it, when I go to sell it,
That's the best part.
then I find out it's
fucking
fake.
fake.
The only thing that was real was the platinum, so that my finger wouldn't blow up. But all the diamonds were fake. And the reality is what we spent on it was for him to get a fucking Rolex that he got to keep,
He got to keep it in the divorce.
which I thought came from as a gift from his father.
Like it's the whole thing's so
But
weird.
I never got a wedding band
So
because we were still paying for this. Like, I didn't want to spend any more money.
It was
It was
also
big enough.
it was
Like-
huge. It
like,
wasn't.
the-
No.
Like,
It was
I don't want to prioritize having a wedding band when we still haven't paid off
Really?
the first one.
You got a lot of balls to say that. I'm not gonna fuck with you, but you do. When you ask all your family and friends to fly to fucking Aruba to watch you get married,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, there's not enough money for a wedding band, but hey guys, spend all your money and come watch us get married in Aruba." Like that's fucking weird. But anyways, so he buys you a fake diamond. Go ahead, pee your pants. Go,
Uh-huh.
go pee. He buys you a fake diamond. You get it appraised, and he comes back with a Rolex suddenly, and you buy this bullshit that it was a gift from my dad. Like this is the world that we live in. So when Katrina and I decided we're going to get married, I knew that I couldn't allow any of that mystery into our world. Luckily, I knew early on that I wanted to marry her, so she gives me this laundry list of requirements that I've got to meet. And one of them is like, I want the ring to come from a small New York or New Jersey jeweler. It's got to be a family-owned small business because they can't fake it. So the best thing that happened to me was falling in love with her early on, because after a year and a half, 2 years, I know I want to marry her. But I also know the story, and I don't want to saddle her with debt. At this point, she has shared a couple credit cards with me. She's trying to fix my credit, so I'm an authorized user on cards that, like, I've never had a card with a $50,000.
You have no business having that.
Or a $100,000 credit limit on a card. Like, I've never had that. My biggest credit limit's $2,000. Like, and suddenly I got a card in my wallet, like $50,000. I can go buy myself a Maserati and like peace out. But I would never do that. Nor would I buy you an engagement ring on your own card so you can log in.
Or there was a trade-in.
I mean, not for whatever. Like, not for nothing. If I spend anything north of like $60 on the card, because $60 I feel like is a full tank of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see anywhere 40, 50, $60, you don't question it. 70, 80, $90, I get a phone call or a text like, hey,
what is
was this you? Like,
yeah.
Or is this a scam?
Hey, and usually when I find it or call it out, it has been incorrect.
But I only bring it up because you're that alert to what's happening, right? There's nothing getting hidden. Like, there's nothing getting past you. It blows my mind that there was a world that once existed where that type of ring got like past you. Or did he?
It was a tough life lesson to learn, and that's why I'm the way I am now.
But usually when a man buys a woman a ring, it's 3 months' salary is the rule, and if he doesn't buy it because he earned the money and it was a sacrifice for him to buy this thing for you, then the ring doesn't serve a purpose. So with you, I wasn't able to get you a 2.85 carat ring. I did get you a 2 carat ring. It's, if I must say so myself, I think it's pretty freaking spectacular.
It is, and I get compliments all the time.
I got it from a small New Jersey family-owned jeweler.
As I said, it had to be an Italian jeweler with a legitimate reputation.
You saw all the paperwork. And then a year after accepting it, we went to the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And like, you got full confirmation
that it was real.
You got full confirmation that this came from here.
Yeah.
It is real. It's insured, like the whole deal. So now it cost me a pretty penny, but it didn't cost what you thought the second ring cost. That being said, you also knew my financial situation when I fell in love with you and from when I gave you the ring. You have to know there's a difference. Like, I didn't just go take your credit and be like, ching, 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 and there's no meaning behind it. You know, it took me 2 years on layaway. Here's $20. Here's $100. Here's $1,000. Here's $1,500. Here's $50. Like, I piecemealed that payment.
Like, here's what I sold on Poshmark.
Yeah.
Here's like some satellite radio money I got.
Yeah. Anything extra that I got, I put towards that ring for 2 years. And I'm so proud of it. I've never once had to do that before. I've never had to save that type of money before. I've never been good at saving money. It was important to me to do it for you and to follow your rules. But when I gave it to you, and it was the wrong size.
Yeah, it was your ex-wife's size.
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You understand why I fucked up the size, but I also got that fixed. But I think it's a funny caveat to the story. But like, when I gave it to you, you know that
it was paid for.
But you, like, that was part of the gift. Like, that it was paid for, that we weren't going to start our engagement together and start our life together with, oh, here's $16,000 in new mutual debt, because your engagement ring should not be a mutual purchase. It should be something that only I feel.
Yeah.
And in a world where you don't feel any pain individually financially, and I don't feel any pain individually financially, that had to be the last big purchase that I felt alone individually.
Yeah.
And therein lies the lesson learned, but it took us, between us,
basically 40 years.
40 years and 3 monumentally terrible marriages, like, and each for their own reason. But the long and the short of it is, at least at this stage in our lives, I feel like we know that like we're not going to make those same mistakes again.
But then we were able to find a sale for the wedding rings.
It's very
and
true.
those we were able to pay for outright too.
So I wanted to buy a $2.97 rubber ring on Temu. It was black and had like a little green streak in it that I really liked. And you were like, no, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So the wedding ring that I got is gorgeous and beautiful. And they actually came with a free athletic one too, which is also, it's great because I can run in it and abuse it. And the other one I can wear when we get dressed up. But we picked them up and we have our wedding rings and we're not married yet, but you're wearing yours.
Well, yeah.
Because it's that pretty.
But then we went to go and like run errands and stuff. And I'm like, we're supposed to leave this in the car. That kind of seems wrong. And then like just started wearing it. But then it's like, and the lady said when we picked it up, oh, you guys bought your rings early. Well, we bought the rings early because there was a sale and we were being cost efficient.
I mean, we're getting married in January. I can't.
But it does seem really wrong that like we just spent all this money on something and I have to let it sit in the safe for 7 months.
But we spent all this money, and here's the best thing about Katrina. We spent all this money, and it was at the end of March, and now we're sitting here the first week of May.
It's paid off.
How much do we owe on those rings right
Nothing.
now? None. And how much it really set us back timeline against your plan? 2 months? 1 month? Are we back on track? Are we good to go?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't like...
It wasn't detrimental. It was
No.
$4,000 between the two of us, and it's all said and done. And now your finger looks even prettier than it did before because you're wearing your wedding ring.
Mm-hmm. But now I can go on my business trip with it.
So we're gonna end the show. You're going on a business trip. Are you gonna wear that when we have sex tonight?
Well, apparently now I have to.
We're gonna consummate the marriage with the wedding ring for the first time.
Good grief, I'm not married.
Yeah.
Tonight.
It is. Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. We'll be on schedule, I think, one more time. Maybe next week we're gonna try to be on schedule.
Pending the Celtics game.
Pending the Celtics schedule. We know they're gonna play Cleveland. We got an idea what's going on. We'll know more as the week goes along. I'm happy they're playing Cleveland. I didn't want to see Orlando. Orlando is young and talented, athletic, and they've got confidence against us. And teams like that scare me. They remind me of the 2018 Celtics that took LeBron to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. You don't know what you don't know, but the talent is definitely there. Those guys, Orlando is going to win a championship in the next 3 or 4 years. Cleveland is going to be a great team that wins 45 to 55 games, but never makes it beyond the second round. And that's what I'm excited about. So we know the schedule. We also know that we're the good luck couple, and we're not going to be watching many games together.
On what?
We're not going to.
You stop jinxing us.
No, we're not going to be watching many games together.
Yeah.
Because of our work schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So I am mildly worried about that. But I got to believe that talent will win the day.
Will prevail.
Talent will prevail. But we'll be back next week with another episode of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Big thank you goes out to Katrina Pateri and Barstool Sports, Kirk Minahan. Make sure you find us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, everywhere your major podcasts are found. Now on YouTube. And I did buy the camera equipment. It'll be here when you get back from Orlando.
So today you're missing seeing us in our matching Boston Celtics shirts.
You are. So soon enough, they'll get to see the matching Celtics shirts that were made famous by Donnie Wahlberg. That's why we fell in love with this design here, because we saw him wearing it at the end of the regular season at a Celtics game, and now we've got multiple shirts featuring the logo that we saw Donnie Wahlberg wearing, and you can coincidentally catch a new episode of Blue Bloods tonight, starring Donnie Wahlberg on CBS and on Paramount. But we'll be watching the roast of Tom Brady.
Yes.
Because I've got 10-1 odds that Gronk is going to spike something. I want to win some money. So.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. So it is Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Well, guys, we'll talk to you guys next week, assuming Katrina makes her way back from Orlando.
There's no
and
hurricanes.
Doesn't fall in love with
There's no hurricane
with a landscaper named Miguel. Until then, bye-bye.